Hi everyone, and welcome once again to Israel in Style, where we bring you guys Israel's finest designers, most stylish bloggers, passionate artists, and the hottest fashion tech startups. So to kick off today's episode, we have the young designer that absolutely changed the fashion game and took the fashion and tech world by surprise with her 3D printed collections. The Shenkal graduate has been developing her newest designs and is here with us in the studio to tell us all about her journey of being one of the first to 3D print fashion. Danit Peleg, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming into the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So why don't you tell everybody how you got started in the fashion world?
Sure. So I was always curious about fashion as a little child. And when I grew up, I decided to go and study at Shenkal, which is one of the best universities for fashion design in the world.
Right.
I think it's number 6.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And it happened to be in Israel. Yeah. So I went there and I studied for 4 years, and I realized that I'm really curious about creating my own textiles and making the most innovative, projects as like a school project.
Right.
So I always combined fashion and technologies, and that's how
That was your first step into the fashion world. So
Exactly.
How did the 3D printing come about? Was it a school project, or was it something that you always really wanted to play with?
So it's happened to be my thesis project.
Okay.
I decided that I want to see if I can 3D print an entire fashion collection instead of sewing it. And then I realized that we have these small desktop 3D printers that you can fit in your house. So I said, why people are not printing clothes with them? And then that's what led me to actually start this journey and see if it's possible to 3D print fashion.
And clearly it is possible. We actually have one of your jackets here right now. This is insane. This texture is like crazy. You don't even, I would never even think this is 3D printing. I don't even know how you got started with this. So tell me, have you ever had one of your most monumental designs that you've done?
So I would say that the red jacket that I created is one of the first. It's the first garment I ever printed in 3D.
Okay.
And while working on it, I decided to embed the word liberté, which is freedom in French. I chose this word because I felt like so empowered and free when I could just design this jacket and then just print it by myself from the comfort of my house. So that's for sure one of my, closest. Yeah,
that one's something that really meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
And so where can people purchase your designs? A lot of people aren't even aware that 3D printing fashion is an option and all your collections and designs are there. Where can people buy if, you're wearing a gorgeous bomber jacket, you have dresses here? Where can people find you?
So my website is danitpeleg.com, where you can definitely visit and learn a lot about the process and and everything around it. But just recently, I decided I want to bring 3D printed fashion to more people because I got so many requests and interest, and so many people were so excited about this idea. So I decided to start it and sell the world's first 3D printed garment. It's literally the first ever piece of clothing that you can buy in 3D. And it's also possible to customize it and personalize it to the customer, to everyone's measurements. And yeah, it's really fun experience, even just to play with it on the website. But then I can actually, 3D print a jacket for everyone that is completely fitted to their measurements.
Amazing. And you also mentioned before that the process is on your website. So have you ever experienced somebody, copying or taking an idea, trying to 3D print? Have you ever faced that obstacle?
I mean, sure. I'm really would love people to try it, and I would love to, to push this technology farther. And I feel like it's different than what it used to be. Like in the let's say on the 70s, we used to lock all of our ideas.
Yeah, all the designers.
Patent and things. And I think things are changed right now. Like everything is open. We have this internet, and I feel like I learned from so many people while, working on my process and make this thing happen. So I feel like I just need to give back to this community, and I love to teach people about it. You can also see my TED Talk and learn a lot about it.
Yeah. You can also see actually this dress right here. I have to mention it, so I have to ask you about it. Sure. What was this dress for? This was actually for a really special cause, no?
Yeah, so I created this dress for one of the highlight segments for the Paralympic opening ceremony in Rio last year.
That's huge to have an Israeli designer do that.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. It was so amazing to be there, just, you know, stand on the grass and see it in action, and like and see the girl. Her name is Haimi Porty, and she's a double leg amputee, and she was dancing with her high-tech prosthetics, wearing a dress that made by a robot, and she was dancing a samba with a robot, with an industrial robot.
In your dress.
Yeah, in my dress. So it was all about, you know, humans and technology, which is
fashion tech, and it's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So one last thing I have to ask you, how have the people here in Israel accepted your success? Have you gotten good feedback? What's the feedback that you've gotten from here in the Holy Land?
Yeah, so basically, you know, in Israel, it's very common to see innovative ideas and like crazy thoughts.
Right.
I'm getting really nice feedback from everyone, like outside in Israel and in Israel. I guess, you know, when you make something that is like so new and, you know, different, and it's attracts so much attention outside the U.S., outside in Israel.
Right.
And, so I just feel like that I feel like blessed that I can, you know, represent Israel in a way, you know, and help giving a lot of talks outside in Israel, like talking about why it's happening in Tel Aviv from all places.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because you're one of the first people, if not the first person, to be doing this specifically in this niche, in this fashion tech world. So it's amazing, and everybody here in Israel should be 100% proud, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel.
For anyone interested in taking a look for yourselves at the actual magic that Danit Pelek creates, go ahead and give her a follow on Instagram, and of course make sure to look out for her collections in stores. Who knows, maybe they'll be in a store near you. So we've had a few bloggers come onto the show to talk to us about how they got started, what blogging means, and how they pushed their page to success. Well, this next blogger is actually one of a two-part team blogging from opposite sides of the world. Here with us is Shir Ivgi to tell us all about what it's like to co-blog from Tel Aviv to NYC. Hi, love. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on to the show and talking to us a little bit about Not Your Average, which is your blog.
Yep.
How did you get started blogging, and what is your blog really about?
So basically, I started blogging my sophomore summer, so the summer after my sophomore year when I studied abroad in Paris.
Okay.
I just wanted an outlet to share all of my experiences of studying abroad, and I had a blog where I like posted a bunch of photos, a bunch of recommendations, like where to go eat, where to go out, what to do, because I always like went to different countries, because when you're in Europe, it's
you travel from here to here, yeah.
It's so easy to travel. So that's like when I first started blogging, but I realized that that when I met up with my best friend Jamie, who I do the blog with, we like met up in Italy, we met up in Madrid where she was studying, and those are like the most popular posts because everyone came and everyone watched the blogs,
right? And
they read them, and they were the most engaging ones. We got thousands of views on like just like the small posts about us like going to Italy or like our crazy stories. So that was definitely like the most popular one. So then we realized that like wow, like people actually like to. They
care. They want to know what's up, what's going on, where we're going.
Exactly. So we were just like we should do something with this. And it took us a while to figure it out because we always like post photos together, and we're both like super tall, and people always ask us like how tall are you guys? Like what do you guys do?
You get attracted to really quickly. Like people want to know where your style is from and like, what you're wearing.
Exactly. And then I was working in New York City last summer, and she came to visit me, and we were just like, you know what? Like we're going into our senior year. We don't know what we want to do. We have no idea where we're going, but like we love taking photos, traveling. Right. Let's just start a blog. So we went to a rooftop bar in New York City, got a cocktail, brought our laptops, and wrote the first blog post, and
that's how it started.
That's how it started.
Amazing. So you and your friend are doing it from opposite sides of the world. Yeah. You're here in Tel Aviv. She's there in New York. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
It's a little complicated because there's a 7-hour time difference. We have different schedules. We're both in grad school. But it works because we talk almost every day. We make it a point to really work on it. Right. We FaceTime pretty often. We always like think, okay, what's next? Like, what's the next step that our blog's gonna take to attract our audience and to get more different
exposure.
Exactly, gain more exposure. And I've been really working on gaining exposure in the Tel Aviv region because we have established our presence a little bit in Miami and New York, where we're both from. So I'm just trying to work on Tel Aviv now. But
so how does it work? Do you guys take pictures, let's say, with photographers, and then send it to one another? Be like, should I post this now? You know, because of Instagram focuses a lot about, you know, timing and hashtags and locations and stuff like that. So how does it collaborate? How do you guys collaborate?
So basically, when we're together, so this summer we were both in New York City interning. And we were like, okay, we know that I'm going to Israel. Let's just get a bunch of content now, and then we'll post them throughout the semester while we're
that's
gone.
Smart.
Yeah. So we have a few friends who are photographers in the city who are willing to collaborate with us because we are students, so we can't.
You can't go out and do what maybe other bloggers who have a little bit more exposure. Right. Okay.
So we just went around the city, took a bunch of professional-looking photos in good quality because it's really important to have great quality images, and we just saved a bunch of them. And throughout the time I've been here, which is like the past 5 months, we've been posting the photos.
Sporadically.
Yeah, sporadically.
So you mentioned that you are a grad student. Your co-blogger is also a student as well. So how does it work with your full-time schedules and blogging? How does that work for you?
So basically, so this is like fun for us. It's not a hassle, it's not a burden. It's really, the blog is something that like just keeps us going, really. So yeah, we're both in grad school. I'm studying international business, and she's studying interior design in the city.
Amazing. So you have the business aspect and the design aspect all together.
It's knocked out both. So it's really great because we get to focus on our professional careers, and then on top of that, we focus on the blog. And obviously, like, the blog would be a dream full-time career.
To have it be really take off and to be that one thing. What is your blog really centered around? Because you were mentioning that you guys went to cocktail bars, but you guys are also doing some fashion, and some food. What is it? Like, do you have a main focus, or are you guys just kind of lifestyle blogging?
So we call ourselves lifestyle bloggers just because we do like to portray our lifestyle. We do like to show what we're doing all the time and give recommendations. But we've been focusing a lot on travel and food. I think that it's really important to have a niche that you focus on. So travel, especially since I'm in Tel Aviv and she's in New York City, it's perfect to focus on because there's like a bunch of different things and places that we travel to. And then food, because we're both such foodies. She loves to cook her healthy foods, and I love to go out to eat at restaurants. And we're in the vegan capital of the world right now.
Exactly. So we have a lot of places to go and try out. Yeah. Have you had any brands or restaurants reach out to you to try and collaborate?
Yeah, we've done a few collaborations, especially in America. We've collaborated with Daniel Wellington. Here's one of the ones.
Wait, here's a blogger, true blogger right here.
Wearing the watch. Yeah, they sent us the products, and we just do a collaboration where we post photos. We've done L'Occitane. We've done a few other small brands, but in Tel Aviv, I've been trying to. Oop, should I fix it? But in Tel Aviv itself, I've been trying to reach out to local boutiques, local jewelry stores, just because I want to start reaching into the Tel Aviv market.
Yes.
So Miriam Calhoun, who has that boutique on Schenken, we've done a collaboration with her. I'm actually wearing her jewelry.
Another true blogger. Blogger moment.
But yeah.
So you're looking to collaborate with all different types of brands, potential restaurants, whatever it is that are looking to be more relevant onto your blog.
Right.
Well, good luck, and thank you so much for coming.
Thanks.
And for any of you looking for fun things to do here in the Holy Land or New York City, make sure to check out Not Your Average on Instagram and get the vibe of both cities. Next in our studio, we have the young and extremely talented artist, Linda Merhem, talking to us all about her handmade, one-of-a-kind art pieces she began creating not long ago. Hi, love. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for joining us in the studio. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in art in general?
Yeah, at the beginning, when I was very young, I started to love craft, and thanks to my uncle that taught me and helped me with the work and with my creativity. I am Venezuelan.
Yes.
So
loving the accent.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I am Venezuelan, so I study interior designer. I am an interior designer. I was living in Venezuela.
Okay.
And then I moved to Panama because the situation in Venezuela is not too good.
Right.
So I moved to Panama, and I was working as an interior designer.
So you started out interior designing?
Yeah.
Arts and crafts with your uncle, and then Panama for interior designing, right? Okay.
No, I was doing between birthday and everything. I was doing craft and with my friends.
Right.
And I always loved like to do art and that. And in the meantime that I was working as an interior designer, I was doing string art and like this for my friends, like a hobby.
Okay.
And then I realized that it was very successful, so I started to sell them in Facebook and to friends or like that in Panama. But the
market?
Okay, the market is not too good, and it was very difficult in Panama. And so I decided to move and search a new horizons in Israel. So
Here
I
in
moved
Israel.
Yeah, like 1 year ago.
Okay.
And I did a master program that it was 1 month Ulpan and then 4 months internship. I did an internship in architecture studio. So I was doing models and everything by hand.
So that's how you kind of got started with your art.
Yeah.
So this specific art is called, you consider it string art because of the materials that you guys are using?
Yeah, with nails and strings.
So how exactly do you start a process? You're sitting down to make a new piece and you have do you have an idea in your head? Do you outline it and draw it on the board?
Yeah.
How does it work?
Yeah, the first thing is drawing by hand or in the computer.
Okay.
And then I put it in the wood.
First you do the nails, right?
Yeah, first the nails, placing the nails in the wood.
Okay.
And then wrapping the string in different colors to them.
To see what it is that you are trying to make. So what are a few different types? Obviously here we're seeing you have a khamsa, here's the New York skyline, and here's one for the kitchen. What is like one of your favorites to do or that you've done?
Okay, I have two different styles.
Okay.
I have the string art and the technique quilling that is rolling paper.
Okay.
And different colors, and I give like a cool shape. But I don't know, I have like a picture.
Yeah, so these are the two different types of pieces that you do.
The string art and the quilling.
Okay, and can people order online like custom ones? Have you done ones like with logos for like certain companies and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did 2 or 3, I don't know, I don't remember, for office and companies, but I can do like names or
so people can call in and customize. Like if we want to buy a certain gift with a special person's name on it, you can write the name out for them.
Yeah, everything that you want, I can do it.
And
like if you want like names or something, like a phrase or...
Right. And you said you sell them on Facebook for right now, right?
Yeah, right now I'm selling in Facebook and Instagram. But I think that in the future I would like to sell them in webpage and to expose in restaurants, offices, shops, and everything.
100%, because this is definitely, especially this one right here, the Eat one specifically caught my eye. For the house, you know, even in restaurants, really cool, hip, trendy restaurants, to have something unique, handmade, one of a kind, and completely different.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming in and your amazing art. Anyone looking for an interesting and unique gift, make your way over to Linda's Instagram page and order up. Also, Linda will be doing a fan giveaway of one of her original pieces. If you want to take part, make sure to go and comment on her last Instagram picture, and she'll be picking at random the winner. Good luck. All right, so to close off our show, we're bringing you what's new in Israeli theaters. Here with us is the music man himself, Michael Herman, who's here to talk to us about the latest English-speaking play right here in the Holy Land. Hi, Michael, how are you?
I'm great, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the theater LOGON? It's one of the only English-speaking theaters here in Israel, right?
Yes, it's not really a theater, it's more of a group. It's a group of people. It started back in 1981 in Omer, in South, near Beersheba. A guy named Ed Spitz decided that, you know, him and his friends, his thespian friends, decided that there's not enough English theater in Israel. Back then, 37 years ago, there wasn't. So they started Gilbert and Sullivan musicals, like The Mikado and Pirates of Penzance.
Okay.
You know, and after they did a whole bunch of those for about 15, 16 years, they decided, it was very popular, they went into rubbing musicals, and they've been doing that ever since.
So we're here talking about your musical, Mr.
Yes.
Music Man.
I am the Music Man this time.
Yes.
This is my second year with LOGON.
Okay.
And, last year I did Annie. It was a
Really?
great success. Yeah, I was Rooster.
I'm bummed
It was
I
great.
missed it,
I know.
though.
Why didn't you come?
Right? So why don't you tell us about the Music Man play now being, right? Now it's airing? Like now we can
it's
go
starting
and see it?
February 14th.
Okay.
Is opening
Okay,
night.
okay.
The Music Man is a story about a traveling con man, Harold Hill. He goes from town to town trying to swindle people into thinking they need a kids band. You know, selling them uniforms and instruction books and instruments.
You need this. Like,
Yes, you got to have it. There's a problem in this town that we have to fix, and a band will fix that problem. So on the train, on the way, he gets kind of coaxed into, maybe I'll stop in River City, Iowa, and see what happens. So now the Iowans there are very stubborn, and they give him the cold shoulder, because that's just the way they are back in 1912.
Okay.
But he doesn't care. This is a challenge for him. Now, along the way, he falls in love with the librarian. Of course, there has to be
a love interest.
Of course. And he gets to light the town. Now, the librarian sees right through him. She's one of these, you know,
She's smarter than him.
I'm going to look him up. I'm going to check the reference books. There's no Google back then, right?
Let me go through the books,
exactly,
the yellow pages.
Literally, the book. What page? So she checks his claims, realizes he's not all he's meant to be, but she sees and she realizes by the end that the excitement and the enjoyment that enjoyment, is that a word? No.
Yeah, we make words up here, that's fine.
That he brings to the town and the people, he breaks them out of their cold, you know, stubborn shells and changes them for the better. And I don't want to spoil the rest of the story. But
I don't want to spoil the rest.
The whole thing.
But this is a quick glimpse into what we can expect from the Music Man.
Yes, and lots of songs, of course. Lots of kids and adults together singing, harmonizing. It's
right. So
wonderful.
I was going to ask you about the actors. How difficult is it to find actors here in Israel that speak in English? How many actors are in this musical?
You know, so there are about 37 actors, and then backstage production and stage management, maybe 50 people in total.
Wow.
All English speakers, or some native Israelis as well.
Oh, okay.
It's a mix of old, young, Hebrew speakers, French, people from all over the world, really, that not necessarily know English. I mean, we have people who don't know any English, and yet they're in the play.
How does that work?
They learn the songs, they harmonize, they have lines that they learn verbatim, you know, in English, and they say them, and no one knows the difference. It's just, and it's more of just, it's more like a family than a community theater. Everyone knows each other year after year. I mean, it's our 37th year. I can say R now.
Hours.
I'm only 47, so no. But there are people who have been in it since the beginning. I mean, Ed has been in like every play.
So they are in the plays themselves?
Yes.
So what about you personally? How long have you been acting? How has this musical thing been a thing for you for a very long time?
Musical, no. But acting, I've always wanted to be an actor since I was like 10 years old. That was my first play. I did Mr. Scrooge, The Christmas Carol. But musical, I never thought I could sing. Even when I was 10, I couldn't sing. But somehow, last year, they said, okay, you're going to sing Easy Street, you know, Rooster. You're going to do this. And I did it. And they coached me. They have a coach. They have a choreographer. Everyone comes together and works together. And it's an amazing, it's a chug, really. Yeah. It's a 6-month chug. We start in September. We finish by the end of March. And then in the middle, we have, you know, like cast parties and get-togethers. And it really is an extended family.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you guys are really working together, you said 6 months out of the year, on a specific musical or play or whatever it is that you guys are doing. Yeah. So when does The Music Man come out? When can people watch it? And until when? Just for our viewers coming to visit.
Right. So opening night is February 14th in Beersheba at the Mishkan Theater. And the last show is the 18th of March, also at the same theater. And in between, we go to Jerusalem, we go to Rehovot, we go to Haifa, Modi'in, 9 shows total. So you can go to negevlightopera.com, or you can go to tixwise.coil/musicman. Lots of options to buy tickets. It's
amazing.
A lot of fun.
So I'll definitely have to make my way down south and check out the Music Man himself. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Everyone that's in the area, make sure to check out the Music Man play. And for any visitors coming in the future, make a stop at the LOGON Theater Group. That's all the time we have for today's episode of Israel in Style. Thank you to all our guests who came into the studio. This is just a glimpse of the talent and creativity that surrounds us here in the Holy Land. If any of you missed an episode and want to catch up, you can check us out on ILTV.tv/Israel in Style. See you next week.